Even though overall cancer rates are decreasing, the amount of HPV-related cancers are on the rise. Firefighters say it's imperative to keep Fire Station 4 open and fully staffed. Yarger says they do use the assault model rifles at the shooting range and has the shell casings to prove it. I'm here right now with the Vice President for the Lima YMCA, Terry Averish. So Terry, tell me some of the fun activities that are going on here tonight. Switching from the dollar bill to the dollar coin could save taxpayers $4.4 billion over the next 30 years. Well, I can tell you right now, the roads are hazardous. That gusting wind along with the snowfall is making it really hard to see. After you're done buying jewelry, try stepping into one of these limited edition Corvettes that you can find right here in Lima. Sending or receiving a text message can take the driver's eyes off the road for an average of 5 seconds, not to mention all the other distractions that happen while driving. Earlier today, Sheriff Jeff Gray informed us in an email that they have arrested 40-year-old Daniel Martin in connection with the murder of Melinda Shin in Fort Wayne with the help of U.S. Marshals. Ohio state officials met with local law enforcement and local superintendents to discuss options to make schools safer, like stricter punishment on those who commit crimes on school property and also more school resource officers. It all began right behind me at around 6:20 this evening. A man went up to the police station and started causing some type of commotion. 2 officers went outside to confront the man, and that's when he pulled out a screwdriver and stabbed one of the officers in the side of the head. We were able to talk to an eyewitness cleaning the mayor's office at the time who described what happened.
He went running to the police department. A police officer came running out. He fired a shot. He shot him once. The gentleman kept going after the police, so they shot again a couple more times.
LPD officials are saying the same thing.
He pulled some type of a weapon, assaulted the officers, stabbing one of them in the head. The officers used handguns and tasers to fire and subdued him. Both one officer that was injured and the suspect have been taken to area hospitals for treatment at this point.
Lima Police Chief Kevin Martin says the alleged attacker and the injured officer were taken to St. Rita's emergency room. He was not available for comment because he was at the hospital checking in on the fellow officer. Police department officials are saying they are still in the early stages of investigation, but think that the man that attacked the officer was attempting suicide.
Early on, we've been told it was a suicide by cop type situation, so obviously he must have made statements to some people. So we'll be checking into that, what his state of mind was.
Now, there's still a lot of unanswered questions tonight, but we will give you those updates as they become available. Back to you, Stuart.
Allie, now, are there any other names or any other information being released at this time?
They're not releasing any names of the officer at the time or the man who allegedly started this attack. Now, they don't want to release the name of the officer because they want to make sure that all the family members are being notified. Back to you, Stuart. According to Putnam County prosecutors, Jeremy Stober admitted to importuning while on the phone with a family member at the Putnam County Jail. Judge Randall Basinger gave Stober the maximum sentence of 10.5 years in prison. But before the sentence was handed down, the victims had something to say.
The fact that you watched me and picked me out of an entire student body, it's sickening. I knew that it was getting too far, and I knew that if I didn't do something, that it was going to get out of hand. That is why I came forward.
After both victims confronted Stober for his crimes against them, both expressed sympathy for Stober's family for the pain and the hurt that they have had to endure, and also forgave him for his crimes against them. Judge Basinger was not so forgiving. Judge Basinger told Stober the way that he consistently maintained his innocence showed a lack of remorse. He says Stober's explanation for things that he did admit, like over 3,000 text messages to his youngest victim, to him was absurd.
Whether it's on the standard statements, you haven't acknowledged some of the activities, and even those that you have acknowledged, you've given some explanations which defy any reason or common sense in terms of propriety.
Putnam County prosecutor Todd Schrader says both victims wanted the maximum sentence. He says throughout the course of the trial, parents have confronted him on their concerns over trusting school officials, something Schrader hopes will heal now that Stober will do his time.
The school system is full of excellent teachers, But when something like this happens, it causes everyone to kind of question the system and the ability to protect our children when they're away from the home. And so it was important to send a message that this will not be tolerated and it's not acceptable.
Now, this is not the end of Stober's legal problems. Stober is now being charged with bribery. According to prosecutor Todd Schrader, Stober befriended a fellow inmate about to be released from the Putnam County Jail. He says Stober asked the inmate to make contact with the victims and bribed them into saying their testimony was a lie. The inmate alerted authorities, and that charge was filed this morning at the Putnam County Municipal Court. I'm Allie Balgooyen for Your News Now.
It was bad. It was bad. I couldn't get any help at all, and we were pretty much on the streets.
Allison Cotton struggled to survive in New York before moving to Lima. When she got here, she knew that she wanted to go back to school to get a career that would help support her and her 3 children. But she had limited resources and decided it was best to turn to the Family Promise Shelter.
I didn't really want to go into a shelter, with pride, but, I had 3 children to think about, and I just had to do what I had to do for my children.
When Allison ran out of all other options, she came here to Family Promise, which has helped her and 63 other families in the community get back on their feet. Executive Director of Family Promise, Peggy Adams, says for the past 5 years, the program has helped provide food, shelter, and teach people life skills to help them work towards having a home. She says being homeless can happen to anyone in today's society.
A lot of people live about from paycheck to paycheck and are in positions where they have to make choices, whether they're paying their car insurance, they're paying their rent, they're buying food. I mean, we have a big problem of food insecurity in our state, in our area. So, people are having to make choices.
Now, Allison is a nursing student at Rhodes State University and is expecting to graduate in May of 2014. She says being at Family Promise gave her long-lasting friendships and the resources that she needed to get back on track.
I just think Family Promise is a great place to go because they really do try to help you get to where you're trying to go.
In Lima, Allie Balgooyen, Your News Now.